Hi, so here for another video. I have no clue what I'm gonna train today, but before anything else, I want to speak about yesterday's training session. I benched 80 kilos times 11 reps, which is substantially better than what I'd been doing for the last couple of weeks. Probably even the last 1 to 2 months. Obviously I had the changes in the gym, then I came back weaker, and then my elbow started to hurt, so it hasn't been exactly a great time benching, which is okay. Benching is far from being my priority right now. But yesterday it went very well, and I felt no pain, so that was a good positive thing. Before this video starts out, in the second part of this video, I will speak about a totally different topic, which will probably be the title of this video. But right now, I just want to do another type of conversation with you, which is something that I've been made aware since the end of 2023, when I got betrayed by my two business partners and took upright, out of nowhere, I got literally scammed by my business partners out of dozens of thousands. Not to mention the business itself, which would have produced many more every month. And that is that everyone who succeeds, by everyone, obviously, there are plenty of exceptions, but let's put it this way. Most people who are successful, in terms of especially in a monetary way, are not good people. And I realized that, being someone who was on my way at the time to being very young and being very successful, I surrounded myself. I was having dinners, having calls with people who were literally in their 20s, millionaires. And I remember even thinking at the time, some of these people are very sus, There is obviously very big egomaniac kind of traits here. Not that I'm not egotistical. I'm egotistical as fuck. I'm very egotistical. On day one of doing pull-ups every day, I said I was going to beat the world record. I have not yet, but I will. So I have an ego too. But I will prove you that there's a justification for all of this when I beat that record. And I feel like I've been proving that for over 200 days now, even though I have not yet beat the record. But I felt like these people, I just look at them, I looked at their lives, and yes, they did have money. But a lot of things were lacking, and I felt like that kind of speech that they were giving out did not really, how do I put this, justified that bravado. And I mean, you can see it yourself in social media. Every other day, if not every day, literally comes out multiple exposés on multiple different people about how they are lying, how they ripped off some business partner. And I don't know what that says exactly about success. And I really do not know what is the lesson to get out of this. I mean, perhaps it might be the kind of character you need to be ruthless, whatever. Again, I am not making this a definitive answer, I'm just thinking, what could it be? Because it's what I said, every other day, someone who is successful, something comes out about them on how they are a terrible person and they've done this and they've done that, like really heinous things. Sure, we've all done bad things, but scamming people out of millions, unjust enrichment through someone else's personal property. all these kinds of things, like selling performance enhancing drugs illegally, promoting illegal casinos, something, I don't know, much worse things out there. There are plenty of examples. And I really hope that once I become successful, obviously not everyone will like me, it is impossible to please everyone, but I really do hope I do not have to turn to an objectively horrible person in order to make success happen in my life. And obviously right now, as someone who unfortunately is not yet successful, I'd actually say that I am more unsuccessful than the average person my age. And there is a reason for that. Sometimes, in order to get to the top of the hill, sometimes you gotta go through a veil, let's put it like that way. English is not my main language, so I may not be the best at communicating this. So I want to get here, the top of the mountain. Sometimes to get to the top of the mountain, you start here. You'll have to climb down a veil and get all this way up. While most people only want to get here, and they start here. So they just make a small incremental walk towards their destination. So yeah, obviously I have bigger goals, I have bigger demands of myself. Not saying that I'm right for having this and other people are wrong, it's just my thing. And I feel like with that comes a lot of sacrifice, which kind of leads me to be in this position. That and many other things as well. Which is kind of a totally different conversation. I certainly have lost my compass on this conversation here. But I think you guys get the gist. You understand what I was trying to say. And I'm gonna just stop yapping and get to this training. I hope this conversation was helpful. Obviously, no one gives a fuck about these videos I do right now. Barely anyone comments on them, and a lot of people, when they comment, I don't know, sometimes I feel under the impression that I hired a personal trainer, because people just go out there and tell you what to do. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Especially with training every day. Oh, you shouldn't. You're not going to build muscle. Who the fuck said my goal is to build muscle? I don't know if you noticed by clicking on my channel, but there's a very clear goal. It's called pull-up world record. Not become bodybuilder. I just feel like the internet space is so toxic. That's why I myself don't have a personal social media. That's why I even try to consume people's content the least I can, especially real people. I do consume some fictional character type of content, like edits from cool TV shows, while I'm doing some light work that doesn't really warrant for my complete attention. But people themselves, even when I create an Instagram and a TikTok in the future in order to post my short form content and hopefully try to grow an audience there, I will have to be very careful doing so. And even reading comments. Right now I read all my comments, I answer all of them. But I don't know how long that will last, because once I gain more traction, I might start getting daily comments that I really do not want to read. Not because they're bad, but because they won't benefit my life positively. Sometimes it's not because I don't want to read them to not get affected. It's because they won't benefit me positively. So why would I do it? You know, there's no ROI. So why would you do it? I guess that overall, I will have to tailor my approach to social media with extreme care. As I grow, in order to make sure that I maintain this mindset, my goals about pull-up records and being someone who shows up daily and all he does is work, because I don't want to turn into a completely different person just because I reached success. And yeah, I've talked enough. Let's get to the training. Hi everyone. In this little series that I am doing, I go over the top 10 most highly asked questions about self-improvement that teens are questioning themselves on nowadays. Today I'm going to go over question number 4, which is, how do I make and keep meaningful friendships? I'm not gonna lie to you, today's video will be kind of a short guide telling you how to get tall. I do not know the answer to this. I can only speculate, because I myself, every single friendship that I have had, I do not have anymore. I currently have no friends, absolutely zero. And obviously that's not because I do not want to. I could have plenty of friends, I just do not think that those friends would be worth my while, worth my time. But I guess that if I could go back in time and speak with my younger self as a teenager, you start being a teenager at 13 years old, I would just say this is going to sound very harsh, and this is not advice, but I would certainly say all the friends you have, they are not your friends, they do not care about you, not one bit. I would say drop all of your friends and completely focus on yourself. Just drop any influence you have on your life, that be friends, that be YouTubers, content you see online. Delete your social media, even though I did delete it as a teenager. I wish I had deleted it sooner. And just understand that none of those people will last. Again, maybe you've had a different experience, maybe you're listening to this and you're older, just out of curiosity, and you've had a different experience. I think that's great. My experience has not been that. I do not believe that most people, and by most I mean 99.999, you get the gist, and they are not good for being friends. And I am more and more swaying towards a binary approach to relationships. You are either my family or you're nothing to me. It is harsh, but it is just my humble opinion on the matter. Have a nice day.